first time in its history, the Life Grand Prix Series visits one of the classic oval tracks of North America, Phoenix International Raceway. 17-year-old James Davies is on the pole with Jeremy Tenpecost on the outside of the front row, all front row for the Foster's team. And standing starting an oval, let's see how it works. James Davies gets a pretty good getaway. Vukler tries to make some headway as long as Van Dyke back there, Gia Van Dyke. Going a bit further back there, 3 and 4 abreast in some areas, entering the first corner. As some people taking evasive action, and I think we have a spin in the first turn, but Carlos Marquez in the Team of the Workers Party entry, the 666 car, stalled in the grid. Thankfully, he qualified in last. We've seen some very big smashes on the start of some of these races here in the Life Grand Prix Series, and Carlos Marquez can almost count himself lucky that he didn't have anyone behind him. So that could have been a massive crash at the start, but unfortunately Marquez's day out early. So we got a massive crash. Kickert and Mazzacane. Jose Pablo Mazzacane and Peter Kickert in trouble already. And there's a fire in the back of Mazzacane's car number 39. The red and yellow car right there. As the whole field screams down the main straightaway. Coming into turn 1, that's Will Roberts on the inside of him. Car number 47, and there was contact as Peter Kickert made contact with Mazzacane as Kickert got sideways on the banking change right there. It looked like Mazzacane had nowhere to go. I thought for a minute that Roberts had something to do with it. Roberts is 6th in the championship. Of course, Roberts very lucky. He was sideways there. As we're on board now with Jose Pablo Mazzacane, who's failed to qualify 5 times this season, and Peter Kickert, who is 8th in the championship this season, who won the earlier race in Spain, the 3rd race of the championship. Kickert just gets it sideways before he enters turn 1, car number 16. And Mazzacane, not really anywhere to go, runs right into the back of Peter Kickert, and out goes Kickert, and out goes Mazzacane. As there you see Will Roberts, very, very lucky. He got the $75 seat for that one, that's for sure, as he just squeaks by on the inside, and that car is all sorts of sideways, but very unfortunately, Kickert and Mazzacane both out of it. Kickert was actually injured earlier in the season, and this is only his 3rd race back from that injury. He's got 17 points. He's joint 7th actually in the championship, but on countback he's actually 8th in the championship standings coming into this one. As Kim Jong-sung is over upside down, we've got a big pile up over here. Several cars involved in that. I think that's generic in there. There's several cars just are into this one. It's Roberts in it. We got a massive stack up here. Whoa, whoa. Madunachev in there, Roberts, I see Vic Sunset, and it looks like Bell in there as well. So that's definitely a very big bust him up, and Gula in there going by as Sunset getting shoved around by Dmitry Vitkin. As Kim Jong-sung, nobody's over there to help him. The Foxhound car's out of it. That's Frederick Maxime Vukler out of it as well. Frederick Maxime Vukler is out of it, and we're going to see what happened to him. As he just had a problem there. Whoa, the back of that car just turned into a launch ramp, and that was a very scary incident over there, and then just everyone just started piling into Vic Sunset, who's sitting there pretty much helpless. Here they all come flying in, and, oh, come on, try to miss it this time, guys, as everyone in the back just, as Bell comes into it, and, well, if there's anyone keeping track of how much the chassis supplier is going to be making off a replacement nose cones for this one, is we're watching Kim Jong-sung's car roll over. That is a very, very well-built camera on the roof of that car, if that thing can stay alive after that roll. So props to the people who made that camera, I guess, as the Foxhound car gets some damage there, and he just stops in the middle of the track for no reason. That's what makes it even worse, I think. As you see, everyone just sort of piles in. Tenpecost into it as well. Big, big stack up here. And, yep, we're stacking them up. As Madunachev gets into something, gets it sideways. And anchors into it. Vukler, of course, dead in the water back there in that magenta and black car. Bell sitting there as well. And shoving him out of the way like he's, like he's wreckage. That's supposed to be pulled out of the way by Bulldozer. And Vandermeer in the Al Smith car. The other Al Smith car in trouble. As Vandermeer, that car is on fire. We got a barbecue in the back of that one. Bring your marshmallows. We got a barbecue in the back of Vandermee's entry. Vandermeer, not what he needed to see, because he's doing very well in this season's championship so far. Tenpecost leaving the pits in the Caraxel car. And that car looks kind of like a mess. Is Dmitry Vidkin still in the race, trying to get a new nose cone, as he lights up the brakes for some reason entering the pits. Alright. Dmitry Vidkin here in the other team of the Workers' Party car. Of course, his teammate went out of it real early on, before the race even started, really. The Kazakh driver actually had a very impressive debut, and he came home in third in his first ever series start at Birmingham. He's had a couple of 7th places ever since then in car 888. As Ramon is in trouble. Danny Ramon in trouble in one of the Rockets to Russia cars. And there is Ramon, smoke billowing out of the back of that car. And definitely Danny Ramon, who's got a couple of podiums this year. He has 10 points to his name. He's in trouble, as well as Charlie Jericho in one of the Herbalife cars. No front wing on that car. So he's incurred some damage somewhere else. As the rest of the field enters turn, as cones go flying everywhere, as people clearly don't know how to take the first corner here. Charlie Jericho keeps it going, but that was an interesting moment he had. Wilson in trouble. Dave Wilson, the championship leader in car number 5. He's got a fire at the back of that car, and he's probably wishing he had some marshmallows. He's throwing fire in the face of Arthur's back there. Jericho into the pit lane, though, as Dave Wilson in trouble, the championship leader, coming into this race. Charles Jericho looks like he's going to bring that car in, and they might change the nose and get that car back out. Yes, they do change the nose on the Herbalife car. Jericho not exactly had a whole lot of big success in this series yet, but we'll have to see what comes his way. Charles Jericho leaves the pits after a 9.4 second stop. Myra Blogg is coming over here in turn 1. There's through some of the infield road course part of this. They didn't exactly want to run these cars on the oval. You see James Davies and his teammate Vukler lead quite convincingly after 7 laps have been completed. As she's chasing Richardson, and Sun is right behind Blogg. As we've got Wilson still on fire, bringing that thing finally. Takes him long enough to realize that car isn't getting any better, and that he's just he's just having a barbecue back there. As you see, still on fire, still on fire. Everyone but Dave Wilson seems to know this car is on fire until right then. Now he knows it's on fire. That took long enough. Looking on board off the back of one of the Life of Namibia cars, we've got another fire. Fire in the hole. We've got Bell and Howard being showered with the flamethrower that's being mounted in the back of Angula's car. Davies now back in 2nd place, as we're looking at now at Blogg right here. Oh no! Contact between Blogg and Davies. Meyer Blogg and James Davies had some pretty big contact. The rear wing has gone off the back of that car, off the back of Maya Blogg's car. Blogg brings that car into the pits, and I think that'll be a retirement, as Davies, coming off the turns 3 and 4, just runs straight into the back of the Blogg car, and Vukler just barely misses him. And that could have been a very, very big moment. Davies, though, big setback for the young 17-year-old. As we've got a pile-up over here with Howard and Gula, with the flamethrower still going, apparently. And Arthur's going by. But Howard is involved in that. In the other Rockets to Russia car, that's Marky Howard. As you see, the Life of Namibia car with Angula. And it's just going to come to a stop right in front of Howard. Yeah, because that's good. Let's just stop right in front of the whole field, because that's safe. Car number 53, and nowhere to go, but right into the back of Angula, and I guarantee he can't be too happy about that. Howard, of course, came into this race in the championship hunt. He's 4th in the championship as it stands. As James Davies, the 17-year-old, brings that car into the pits. The winner of the last race that this series ran, so Davies, his career in this series is off to a very, very good start. Definitely a future star in the making. As the Angula car has been, as you see, withdrawn from the race, he has retired. James Davies, though, back into the race. So they brought the Davies car is now back into the race. car number 00. We'll see what he can do here in the rest of the race. He's back to 5th, but if you've seen some of these races, then, coming back from behind is not exactly impossible. As Howard into the pits, he's still in the race as well, in the Rockets to Russia entry. A lot of cars you see retired here, not all of them for good reason. Some of them just sort of decided to pile into an incident that had already happened. Others, like Howard, just in the wrong place at the wrong time, when someone else was using some extremely poor judgment, as we're on board with William Anker, as he drives in through here in car number 33. As he's slowing and taking these corners a little bit slower than usual, so I think he might have a problem. As you see, why haven't they pulled the Young Sung car off the track already? Well, that's interesting. Anyways, Bragia's in trouble. Bragia, big plume of smoke out of the back of that thing. He uses smoke screen. As we're looking now off the back of that car, it looks like. On the power, and yep, we got a fire. We got another fire here. We're not in California, but there's definitely quite a bit of fires going on, and for this time of year, I don't think that's quite what people want, especially when dry grass and things like that equals fire. Quite quickly, as William Anker retires the 33 car after apparent mechanical failures on that car. James Davies in the 00. The Foster's good call entry, making his way through the field. He's going around Christopher Arthurs. Christopher Arthurs, who has had a couple podiums recently and trying to get himself back on the podium again. Davies now back up to 3rd with Graham behind him in the Sandinista car. So, we'll have to see what he can do about holding off Rachel Graham. Or if James Davies is pulling away from... No, he got by Rachel Graham, it looks like. That makes a bit more sense, because I was wondering that why Davies is in front of Graham all of a sudden. Around the outside goes James Davies. In a great move right there around Rachel Graham. And it looks like he moved around Van Dyke. So Gio Van Dyke moves down 1. And Davies moves back up into 2nd behind his teammate. As we've got a big accident here. Samsung into the wall. In car number 8, the Aussie Motorsport car, the New Zealand rookie, coming off last corner, just locks him up. Coming off the infield section, drives it straight into the wall. That was interesting. Have to see what happened there. Well, here he is in the infield, coming off the infield section, and he just held the throttle in a bit too long. I mean, granted, these cars have all the life engines. Is Gio Van Dyke in trouble? We'll have to see what happens here as he's pushing it as hard as he can, it looks like, trying to catch up. And something goes wrong with that car, and he wants out of it as soon as possible, and he stalled in the middle of the racetrack with everyone still coming by. Rachel Graham in the Sandinista car is out from 4th. Rachel Graham, car number 20 in the Sandinista car. Must have had something go wrong with that car. We've got kicking up some grass right there, but Rachel Graham out of it. Vukler is now in the lead in one of the Foster's good call cars. His teammate James Davies is running very well despite that early setback. So we've got Vukler still in the lead. Coming up, that's Charlie Jericho, who's still in the race despite all those problems he's been having, and Belviernes, who's kind of had an anonymous run here, as looking there at Vukler in the Foster's good call car. Now we're back to James Davies. As Davies goes around his teammate, James Davies assumes the lead of the race. Despite that front wing change, Davies back in the lead as Vukler heads into the pit lane. 27 laps completed and Davies is in the lead. As Vukler retires the other Foster's good call entry. As we're back at Marky Howard, who's still in the race despite that earlier incident in car 53, contact with Bell, but he looks like he's gotten away with it. Oh no, he hasn't gotten away with it. There must have been some damage to that car after that contact, because Howard is done. And that car just goes way wide. There must have been some damage after that contact with Bell, and Howard is out of it. As we're now watching Will Roberts in the 47 car. The man earlier, who I said had the $75 seat there, the Hurt Racing car. As back there is Richardson in car number 34. Richard Richardson in car 34, as Will Roberts goes off the track almost to get by him. And, well, I'm not quite sure that the Richardson Eurobrum team's going to like that one. But James Davies in car number 00 is going to take home his second win in 2 races in the Life GP Series in car 00. The checkers have been waved. Davies the winner after a very convincing victory, despite some of the retirements of his closest competitors. Arthurs comes home in second in the Sandinista car. Valviernes, the other Mazzacane car, comes home in third. His team owner went out early, but he has a strong result. Will Roberts comes home in fourth in car 47, despite missing that first corner incident. And Richard Richardson winds home fifth for Eurobrum. Tenpecost in with the Caraxel car. A very colorful entry right there. Bell in seventh for Zero Force. Jericho comes home in seventh. In eighth, Dmitry Vidkin in the Team of the Workers' Party entry finishes in ninth place outside the points. Vidkin held on, but here's the final results there. Algernon Bell came home for Zero Force, 5 laps down. Dmitry Vidkin, 7 laps down, but James Davies definitely had it over his rivals today.